Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing a Toyota Prius Limited. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Toyota here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this Prius. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder paired to a hybrid system and an eCVT. Fuel economy is 49 around town and then 50 on the highway with power outputs being 196 horsepower combined. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see the lights kind of pop up a little bit. They're definitely a cool design cue, but I really do like this blue paint too. And then there's a closer look at the light design. And then you guys can see here with the parking sensors built into the front end, and then you got a little camera there as well. And putting it all together, the new Prius definitely has a very sporty look. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 195/50/19 on the front and over on the rear. And you guys can see here with the wheels, you've got the silver mixed with the metallic gray. And then I like the colored fender flare here. I think it looks really cool. All-wheel drive badge there on the side. And then notice the mirror cap is blacked out, and then you just have the singular door handle because the other door handle's there on the window area. And then here is your full side view with the Prius Limited. Now taking a look at the key fob, we have our lock and unlock function. We got the opening for the trunk and then Prius there on the back. Now popping into the trunk area, you guys can see we've got a cargo cover built in from the factory. Prius logo there down below. And this has quite a bit of storage space. Again, it's not a huge car, but still spacious. And then I like how this is fully automatic. That is cool. Now as the hatch finishes with the lowering, you can see the light bar design here on the back end. And then LTD for limited, and then HEV because it's a hybrid. And wrapping things up, especially finished in this blue paint, I think this Prius pops quite a bit. Now taking a look at the door panel on the back, soft touch here where you're going to rest your arm. Like, look at the handle there as well, and then decent storage down below. And then taking a look at the seats, perforated all down the center portion. I like the stitching there that goes across the side. And then legroom back here is really good. We have a storage pocket there on the one side. We also have heated seats back here, some USBs, and then headroom. It's good. Also, I guess we get our own sunroof back here. That's pretty neat. And now taking a look at the front door panel, soft touch here at the top, and then you guys can see down below. Got all of our window controls here, their mirror adjustments, memory seat function, and then we've got blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And then taking a look at the front seat, perforated all down the center portion. And then notice the padding on the side. Power adjustments there on the side as well. And then we have this for the heated steering wheel. And then you guys can see with the dash trim, kind of interesting with the design. So starting things off with the Prius steering wheel, you can see there's a bunch of practical controls in the front for like your cruise control, for example, your lane keep assist. You got controls for the center stack, voice command, volume controls, all of the normal stuff. I always thought the steering wheel design is interesting though on the Prius. And you guys can see these stalks there on the back. And speaking of on the back, we have this for the 360 camera, and also this Prius has the self-park feature, which I guess is kind of a rare feature. And then up top, we do have this digital gauge cluster here with the Prius. It is pretty self-explanatory with the information. It shows that we're in EV mode right now, lets you know how fast you're going, lets you know your fuel range left. And since it's so high up, it almost functions as like a heads-up display. Now in reverse, you guys can see part of the 360 camera system with the bird's eye view there, but trajectory lines do turn with the steering wheel, pretty good resolution. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, it's Toyota's newer unit, so we do have a shortcut bar here on the side. Responds pretty quickly overall, and it's got kind of more of like a horizontal layout. And then notice we do have a actual volume control there. I like this blue trim that goes across, and then the soft touch on the dash is pretty nice. And then down below with the glove box, pretty normal. And then we do have heated and ventilated seats. Single zone climate though, interestingly enough, I guess it's just a Prius thing, probably for efficiency. Charging area down below, and then we have our little compartment below that. Some cup holders here. Got our shifter, and then you can see with the wireless phone charging pad right next to it. And then your EV mode here with your auto hold and your parking brake stability control, and that's your drive mode select. It will pop up in the screen here and then also on the gauge cluster, but you guys can basically see that we have an Eco, Sport, Custom, and a normal mode that we can switch between. And then center console, got some more USBs. padding on the top. This has a camera rear view mirror, which is always a nice feature. And then we've got another sunroof. So here's our window sticker for the Prius 2024. You guys can see all the standard equipment, and then, where is it for the self-park? Right there. So advanced technology package. So you've got the panoramic view monitor and then the advanced park, $1,000. But anyways, total MSRP in this one, $39,222. And let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood. Both of the mirrors. Do a blind spot wondering. Let's go through this to the rear, and well, let us set off in the Prius. So I kind of mentioned this in the walk around, but I just realized, at least I think I realized, why the Prius has the gauge cluster so high up. I think that it is Toyota's way of not having to offer a heads-up display, because most cars, well, every single car with a heads-up display also has a gauge cluster. But this, with the gauge cluster being so high up, it's kind of in the same area as a heads-up display, so then they don't have to do both. They can just do one, so cost savings. Same thing probably with the single zone climate maybe, but I think a part of that's also just efficiency, because when you do dual zone climate, right, that's not going to be as efficient as single zone climate. But yeah, super smooth. And the transition with, I mean, you can definitely hear the engine when it comes off, on or off, but the transition is very smooth. So it's I would say it's a positive experience overall. I love Toyota's hybrids. It's just the seamless nature of the powertrain, just how it performs, is so good. Braking doesn't feel weird at all. It feels like, you know, normal car brakes. So that's another big positive. These seats are comfortable in the Limited too. I like the overall feel of them, and the materials feel like they're going to hold up over time. Yeah, good power. Jeez, feels like it moves. It moves. And the new Prius is quick. Like seriously, if you, I mean, I know they're kind of hard to find because they're selling out so quick, but there's a reason why they're selling out so quick, because it's such a good car. But yeah, if you ever have a chance to drive a new Prius, do it, because it's impressive. Like the old Prius just really didn't feel quick. It felt slow. That's the truth. Whereas this new one, it gets up and it moves. It can get out of its own way, as they say. So to cap things off with this limited package, is the luxury Prius worth it? You know, I think it depends what you're gonna be using the car for, but like the way that I look at it is, you know, the Toyota's, you know, with the Prius, it's known for its reliability. So this is a car that you probably will keep for a long time, okay? So if you're gonna be keeping this for a long time and you're probably gonna be commuting in it quite a bit, then, you know, it makes sense to get the nicer package with, you know, some of the nicer features so that your experience with this is a little bit better. And I also, like, again, if you look at this from over the long term, it's like, well, if you get a car that's a little bit nicer, but then you keep it for longer, even though you're spending more money today, you'll kind of save some money in the long term versus, you know, trading to another car earlier because you feel like you're missing something. So I do think there's something to be said with that. But either way, let me know what you guys think about the Prius Limited. Let me know if you think this is the Prius sweet spot, or do you think that XLE that I reviewed the other week is the better route to go? I mean, it's definitely quite a bit less expensive, so there's also something to be said about that one too.